At kasama natin ngayong gabi ang football analyst na sina Bob Guerrero at Mikey Carrion para talakayan ang matinding panalo ng Azkals kontra North Korea. Guys, hangover pa rin tayo, for sure.
Sarap pa rin panoorin, di ba? Kahit ilang ulit na natin pinapanood, sarap pa rin.
Ako, ko siguro mga 10 times na panoorin lahat ng goals na yun. Pero rewind tayo ng konti. Let's go to how this match began. We did not see the match in Korea. It was not televised. The goalless draw. But knowing what the result was, Bob, how confident were you for the Azkals facing them in their home turf?
Ako sa tingin ko, magandang advantage natin yung init.
Okay.
Kasi ang North Korea, hindi talaga sanay sila sa init.
The weather, okay, yeah.
I was expecting that it was going to be a tough game, and North Korea, sila pa rin ang yamado. But ika nga, nakita natin kagabi, medyo bumigay sila ng huli. Especially on the last goal. I mean, Ian Ramsey's all by himself.
Right.
Because the defense just had nothing left in the tank, I think.
Mikey, for you, knowing how strong North Korea was, and then also comparing the last finish of the Azkals, they had a good showing against Uzbekistan. What were your thoughts going into the match against a team like Korea?
Well, we all know how strong North Korea is, no, DJ? They've played in the past World Cups as well, so it's a very experienced North Korean team. So my expectation is going to be, it's also always going to be a tough game for the Azkals, you know. But like you said, they had a good performance against Uzbekistan a week ago, even with just 10 men. You know, OJ Porteria got that red card, and they played most of the game with just 10 men, and they only lost 1-0. So it was always going to be a tough game against North Korea last night.
Bob, the first part of the first half, it was scoreless, and we were holding our own. How were you feeling already about the match, and what did you like from the Azkals right at the point already?
It was a very open game, which surprised me. Maraming nakataya sa game na yun kagabi. Ang inaasahan ko, akala ko mangyayari, medyo maghihigpit sila sa depensa. Yung magkabilang koponan, maghihigpit sa depensa, and we're gonna have a low-scoring game. But lots of chances, both ends. And it was encouraging to see us stand up to the North Koreans. And we created chances and we got the goal before the half.
Mikey, the half was at halftime 1-1. Both teams both had their chances, and then eventually both had their goals scored. What was key for the Azkals in particular that you thought led them to those chances and got eventually the first goal with Misak?
Well, first of all, you said, no, TJ, we finished the half 1-1. We gave up a late goal in the first half. As a football player, as a coach, ayaw mong magbigay ng goal, no, at the end of half or at the beginning, which we also gave up another goal in the second half. We were down 2-1. I think the key there was the substitutes of Coach Dooley. He did the right substitutes at the right time as well. And I think also just yung puso ng mga player. No? They were down 2-1. They knew they needed a win, so they gave it their all. They showed great character in that second half.
Bob, many other teams, you could just get so deflated after losing a 1-0 lead, and then in a span of a minute, virtually, because from the end of the first half to the start of the second half, you lose. It's 2-1. How did they bounce back? How did they just reinvigorate themselves and say we're not giving up?
Well, I definitely agree with Mikey that the substitutions of Dooley were excellent. Hindi nag-start si Ian Ramsey, so pinasok siya at the half for Luke Woodland. It was not a like for like. They moved Ramsey to the wing and then Stoible at the holding mid defense. So by then, parang nakikinita na ata ni Dooley na mapapagod yung North Korea sa second half. So he put a really strong, fast, quick guy on the wing in Ramsey. And he really gave them problems. Tapos, napansin din namin na si Misag Bahadoren nilagay siya sa gitna, which is not his usual position.
Right.
So, medyo nahihirapan ata siya with the center backs of Korea DPR na sobrang tangkad. Kaya, pinasok niya si James Young husband who used his height very well.
That was big. Another key guy who was instrumental for the second goal, the equalizing goal, was Miguel Tanton. The first time call-up, and from what I heard, only practiced them twice, and yet Dooley had the confidence to start him, and what a performance. What did you see from this kid?
I think he had a great performance, not TJ. Like you said, Tanton, he gave that one-touch pass to Manny Ott for the second goal. But aside from that, just his play in that midfield, no? He's a very aggressive player. His attitude on the pitch, his aggressiveness. So I think he showed that last night. And like you said, his first call-up, it was a fantastic game from him.
Bob, Neil Etheridge was huge in Uzbekistan. Again, a big game last night. He did give up 2 goals, but he had some spectacular saves still. How was Neil a key for us again last night?
Well, he did give up those goals pero hindi naman niya ata kasalanan. Medyo malas lalo na yung actually parehong rebounding.
Yes.
Yung goals niya.
Hard to blame a keeper for those things.
He didn't need to make as many stops as the game in Uzbekistan. Pero meron siyang isang napakagandang stop nung first half na actually diretso sa kanya yung bola. So, isa-stop talaga ng keeper. Pero imbis niya ibalik niya yung bola into the field of play, naitaas pa niya over the crossbar, which is really good. And Neil, he does the other things, the communication, the organizing the team really well.
Mikey, Javi Patino was huge. He did not score a single goal, but he seemed to have a hand in every goal that was there. That's why Armand and I gave him the man of the match. What did you like from Javi Patino last night? And what did you see different from him that we haven't seen in the past that he did last night?
Well, what we saw from him last night, and especially in the first half, TJ, he was making a lot of runs, diagonal runs behind the defense of North Korea.
Okay.
That space behind the defense of North Korea, and he had a great understanding with Maniot. Maniot kept finding him, with those through balls, finding Patino, and like you said, in all 3 goals, the first goal of Misak, it was his shot that rebounded off the keeper, and Misak was there at the right time. And then the second goal as well, he started the play, the pass to Tanton. And then, yung last goal na yun, that pass from Stoible.
I don't know if in a
over the
rear
top.
view mirror or the fans were loud enough to scream, because I watched that replay over and over again. This one right here, I didn't even notice him look around if he saw Ramsey was there, but yet he eventually found him. But another great player who actually ended his career last night, Bob. I'll give you a chance to talk about how big Wani Guerrero's been for the Azkals throughout his playing career and as well last night.
Yeah, he's a great leader. He's a wonderful guy, the kindest, nicest person you will meet. After the game, lumapit siya sa area, sa harap ng grandstand. Medyo nakikita mo na medyo umiiyak siya at hinahanap niya yung
Where's the flag
bandila.
and jersey?
Nahanap niya sa
Dito pala.
sa mangas niya. Tapos hinalik niya sa harap ng crowd, pinapalakpakan niya. It was a great moment. At marami siya talagang ibinigay sa team.
Yeah.
And he will not be easy to replace. We've got to find other, because Gear is gone, Rob Gear is gone, Guerrero is gone, Jerry Lucena, who also played center back sometimes, he's gone. So kailangan na natin makahanap ng bagong kapalit sa center back position na sasabay kay Amani Aguinaldo, who had a very good game.
Yes,
Another unsung hero.
Yep. Another guy we want to talk about is who's had an interesting journey. He's back on the team. James Younghusband had a call up back to the squad. Armando's telling me how he worked so hard to get back in better shape because Dooley demanded him to be in better shape, and yet with the last 12 minutes, instant contribution. What did you see from James last night?
Well, I think Dooley was really smart there, TJ. He put him in at the right time, the right moment of the game.
And
sometimes
the right position.
in the position
yes,
as well.
But sometimes coaches tend to make subs too early or maybe too late. But I think James Younghusband came in at the right moment, and he came up front. And like you said, he hasn't been called up. Matagal na siyang hindi naka-call up sa national team. So I think he wanted to come out and really prove to the coach and to the fans that he's still there and he deserves to be in this national team.
Bob.
Yeah, before he assisted on that goal, he almost headed a goal
He had
in.
a shot, yeah.
He had a headed shot in. It was just wide. But kung si Misag pang nandiyan dyan, di na siya abot sa bolang yan kasi wala siya yung tangkad ni James.
Yes, he doesn't have the height.
So
exactly.
those center backs of North Korea, if you saw them in the mall, you'd think they were the
big.
North Korean basketball team. It's ridiculous.
They're big. Okay, lastly, Bob, I'll leave this to you. Dooley, interestingly, his contract is expiring. Big questions now whether he's going to be renewed or whatnot. But with last night's performance and what he's done to the team the last few years he's been around, how difficult would it be to not retain him?
Well, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Hindi natin alam kung anong napapag-usapan nila, kung anong plano ni Coach Thomas, kung anong plano ng PFF. We don't have the best picture. I haven't spoken to Thomas since before the Uzbekistan game. Sinabi nga niya sa press, he wants to stay.
Yeah.
And I think he's done enough, especially to get those 3 points, get us into Asian Cup, third round of qualifying. Sobrang kulang yung mga players natin, pero nagawan pa rin niya ng paraan. It would be very interesting to see. I would hope and think that in the next few days we'll have an announcement. And I hope to see him stay at the very least until the end of the Suzuki Cup.
I honestly think he should stay, TJ and Bob. I mean, he's been there a couple of years. He's implanted a system already to the team. So you don't want getting a new coach, bring a whole new system. The players have to learn that
And
system
with the
again.
Suzuki Cup right around the corner.
So I think it would be a smart thing to keep the system where the players are comfortable already, and stick to the system, not bring somebody else and start again from scratch, and it's going to be much more difficult.
Add my name to the hat for Team Dooley as well. Let's see what happens in the next few days. But for the meantime, we will keep this high for sure. We'll have this hangover for quite some time until we see the Azkals in action again, probably for a friendly soon. But before that, we'll have a lot of UAP football action where you see these gentlemen with me and Arman.
Bukas na bukas.
Bukas, may laban din tayo as well.
2 p.m.
2 p.m. for sure. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Mikey. Good to see you guys. Salamat, salamat.
For more sports updates, keep watching The Score. And don't forget to subscribe.